The last section of the Local Control and Accountability Plan, or LCAP, is titled Demonstration of Increased or Improved Services for Unduplicated Pupils. This section is completed each year of the 3-year LCAP cycle. All prior year sections are retained for each of the 3 years within the LCAP. In this section, local educational agencies, or LEAs, describe how they plan to increase or improve services for low-income, English learner, and foster youth students, collectively referred to as unduplicated students. The Local Control Funding Formula, or LCFF, apportions additional funds to LEAs on the basis of the number and concentration of unduplicated students. LEAs are required to increase or improve services for unduplicated students as compared to the services provided to all pupils in the relevant LCAP year in proportion to the additional funding provided. As such, it is not a year-over-year requirement. When completing the Increase or Improve Services section of the LCAP, an LEA enters the amount of supplemental and concentration grant funds it is estimated to receive for the relevant LCAP year. Next, an LEA enters the percentage by which it is required to increase or improve services for its unduplicated students. This percentage has often been referred to as the Minimum Proportionality Percentage, or MPP for short. This is a term of art, not a technical term provided by statute or regulation. However, the formula for calculating this percentage is provided in regulations. The percentage calculated will vary from one LEA to the next. An LEA meets its MPP by increasing services in quantity and/or improving services in quality for unduplicated students. To improve services means to grow services in quality, and to increase services means to grow services in quantity. The third and final prompt of this section requires a narrative response. In this narrative, an LEA will do two things. First, it will describe how it plans to meet the increased or improved services requirement by the percentage indicated. To do this, an LEA must describe how the services provided for unduplicated students are increased or improved by at least the MPP, either qualitatively or quantitatively as compared to the services provided to all the students in the relevant LCAP year. There is no spending requirement. Rather, the requirement is for an LEA to demonstrate in its LCAP how the services provided will increase or improve services for unduplicated students compared to the service provided to all pupils in the LCAP year. Second, an LEA must identify and justify any LEA-wide or school-wide actions that are included as contributing to meeting this requirement. The collective set of services described in this section, which an LEA includes as contributing to meeting the increased or improved services requirement, may include two categories of services. Services that are limited to serving one or more unduplicated student group, or services that upgrade the entire educational program of an LEA or school site. Services of the second category are referred to as an either school-wide or an LEA-wide service. An LEA-wide service can either be a district-wide, county-wide, or charter-wide service. In order to provide the required justification for services provided on a wide basis, an LEA must distinguish between the services directed toward unduplicated students based on their status and services available to all pupils enrolled in the LEA or school site without regard to their status as being an unduplicated student. Only those LEA-wide or school-wide services that are directed toward unduplicated students are eligible to count toward the increased or improved services requirement. To provide the required justification, an LEA describes how the wide actions in question are principally directed toward and effective in meeting the goals for the unduplicated students. An LEA describes how a service is principally directed towards the LCAP goals for its unduplicated students when it explains in its LCAP how it considered factors such as the needs, conditions, or circumstances of its unduplicated students, and how the services takes these factors into consideration, such as, for example, by the service's design, content, methods, or location. The description must also explain how the LEA expects the service to be effective in meeting the LCAP goals for its unduplicated students. When properly explained in the LCAP, it will be apparent how the LEA is acting to increase or improve services for unduplicated students, and why it has determined that these services identified will be effective to achieve its goals for unduplicated students. If a school district's unduplicated student percentage enrollment is less than 55%, or for a school within its district has an unduplicated student percentage enrollment less than 40%, a wide service must be further justified as the most effective use of funds. An important requirement is that each action or service counted toward meeting this increase or improved services requirement must be associated with at least one expenditure of LCFF funds. Other funds, for example, Title I, Foster Youth Grant, etc., may also be associated with these expenditures for these actions as long as there is at least one expenditure of LCFF funds. For more information regarding the content in this video or the development of an LCAP, please email lcff@cde.ca.gov or visit our website at www.cde.ca.gov.